Woj reported this morning that the Raptors and Kyle Lowry agreed to a one-year, $31 million extension. This will take Lowry off July's 2020 free agent market. So, Chiney, how does the extension reflect Toronto's direction moving forward?
You know what? It's interesting how the tides turn. So back in 2017, when he signed that 3-year, $93 million contract, a lot of people were questioning, why are we investing in Kyle, who's getting older, and he really had wiggled out in the playoffs a little bit, just because he was getting stigmatized there, right? But lo and behold, last year happens where they win the championship. Kawhi is on load management, and Kyle, he's been the true stabilizer from game 1 to game 82, and even through the playoffs for them. I mean, without Kawhi, they went 17-5. That's one reason why they maintained the #1 standings in the NBA, got the home court advantage, and then beat the Warriors. So Kyle Lowry is worth his money. And I'm really happy because over time, we've really questioned Kyle, and he really proved himself to be a great program leader, organization leader, and then that's the direction you want. You want a guy that's a floor general, someone that has championship pedigree and can also galvanize the young guys, especially like the Pascal Siakams of the world. Like, this is our culture, this is our winning ways.
Right.
So I'm really glad for Kyle because he's been through ups and downs, and at the end of the day, he finally fought through, got the ship, and then now is the program guy.
Yeah, you can't be nothing but happy for Kyle Lowry the way this whole thing has turned out. I mean, a number of years ago, remember, he reformed his body, and he's been able to maintain that for a long time. He is a legit NBA All-Star and deserves what he's getting. I will say this, from a team perspective, this is smart for another reason.
Please tell me.
Because it does take him out of July 2020 free agency, but it allows for another team who wants to be in for the summer of 21 when Giannis and Kawhi could be available, and Paul George and LeBron could be available, and Anthony Davis. A lot of guys could be available potentially in the summer of 2021. It allows a team that trades for him to have that salary come off the books at the proverbial right time. So I think that the extension works for Toronto because it'll work to entice other teams too.
And who is their GM?
Our man. Come on, Masai Ujiri. He's playing three-dimensional chess.
He's always chess when we're playing checkers. Right. So yes, it's a good day for Kyle Lowry.
Yeah. So good day for Kyle Lowry, and potentially it could be a better day. He could end up if he gets dealt. Maybe he gets dealt. If he's going to get dealt somewhere, I think it's going to be a contender.
It's true.
Right.
It's true, especially as a veteran coming off that championship experience. But I'm really just impressed with Toronto because you saw from media day when he was all shocked. He was like, oh my gosh, Kawhi.
What do you mean Kawhi's gone?
But the thing is, there's hope there, and I think there's a championship culture there, and I think there's a lot of optimism still there. So with Kyle, that all starts at the point guard.
Where are they? What do you think? Where are they seeding-wise?
In the ecosystem, middle of the pack, pretty much. When it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah, 4 or 5 seed.
Exactly.
I'm with you on that for sure. All right, sticking with the Raptors, Kyle Lowry went on SiriusXM Radio and had some insight on this season's squad and how they'll end up making up for the loss of Kawhi. Check it out.
Kawhi, we did a lot of just go get us a bucket, go get us the win. And, now this year it won't be necessarily go get us the win. It's how do we make this and let's get this done. And Pascal will be, probably our go-to guy. And myself, I'll get a little bit more touches and, go-ahead shots. And I'm looking forward to kind of doing it again. But it's going to be a fun year. I think we got some talent. I think we can really do something special.
So Larry says that Siakam will be the Raptors' go-to guy. What do you think?
I agree, and it was largely Kawhi who, it wasn't flashy points, but it was go get us a big time bucket that will win us this game or win us a championship type of bucket. But Pascal had a front row seat to all of that intensity and the way he trained and how much he cared about the game and how hard he played every possession. So Pascal does the same thing. He went from 7 points per game to 17 points per game in one season jump. Most improved player in the league. Now, this is where I see his improvement really being though. He's a 40% three-point shooter from the corner. He finishes tremendously, at the rim. He's great in transition. But how will he be in one-on-one situations? And I think you see, everyone sees through Instagram how these guys train in the summer, right? He was here in LA, and you just see him working on his one-on-one game and just being able to finish. He has an advantage with his length, his speed, his quickness, his athleticism. Now it's the one-on-one reads that I expect the jump from. So 40% shooting in the corner, that's what you see when you're playing with the Toronto Raptors and you have Kyle Lowry and Kawhi. But now you're going to have the ball in your hands more. You're going to have to be that leader. And after, Giannis Antetokounmpo, that type of jump we've seen year in year, I expect the same for Pascal. Obviously, Giannis is very, very blessed and fortunate athletically, but Pascal has made some jumps that it's okay, this guy has ability to touch all aspects of the game, defensively with his length, offensively with finishing. Now it's the one-on-one reads, him finishing in isolation, being the go-to, go-get-a-bucket guy in Kyle Lowry's voice.
To your point, and there's a lot of guys in this league that have an incredible work ethic, but Nick Nurse told me a story last year, because I had a bunch of their games on sidelines during the season and in the playoffs, about just his particular work ethic. And he told me a story about how after they got eliminated a couple years ago, that the first day after they lost, he was already in the gym working on his three-point shot. And here's a guy who went from an under 20% three-point shooter just a couple of years ago to a mid-30s three-point shooter now. And as you pointed out, 40s in the corner. So this is a guy that is constantly working at his game and is still young enough to continue to grow into that role that they're hoping that he ends up turning that corner to become the go-to guy.
I think the Raptors think he's the franchise player. He is the future, and I expect him to be an all-star this year.
Yeah. In the East, I think that's very possible.
Very possible.
Yeah.
Extremely possible.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports analysis and highlights, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.